You can't change your childhood, but you can heal from it. When you heal, you change what and who you attract in your relationships because you change what you radiate out in terms of your personal frequency. So relationship healing consists of two main components. First, healing you, which is your genetic and energetic patterns, including your emotional baggage. And second is clearing up your connection with others. And that we'll talk about in the next broadcast. So last time I talked about 3 ways you can raise your frequency to improve what you attract. You're listening to Scientific Healing, and I'm Dr. Anastasia Choplis, your host. You might be wondering what relationships and healing have to do with one another. It's because your emotional state influences your health. In fact, research shows that the most important factor in your life for health, wealth, and happiness, including longevity, are your relationships. To help you take better care of yourself, with a soothing healing audio to help you release your emotions, go to scientifichealer.com/emotional. And what about improving the relationship you're already in? I can tell you stories from my own past, but I've worked with hundreds of people and their stories are even more powerful. So let me tell you about Lucille. She's been married to Jonas for about 30 years, and as far as she was concerned, that relationship was totally dead. She was ready to go out on her own. Even her adult children wondered why she stuck around and put up with the behavior of Jonas towards her. And the sticking around was actually a really good idea. If you're feeling any emotional reaction to another person other than gratitude or neutrality towards your current or former relationship, something is still unresolved with them. And you keep calling them back to you with your strong emotional reactions. Every time you have a thought about them and you think like, your emotions are on fire, it's like you draw a connection between you and them and you're calling them into you. And so this is all part of your emotional baggage. So that's what I'm going to focus on today. So anyway, when I worked with Lucille, I didn't do anything with her husband's well-being. No healing in his direction, no relationship healing, no nothing. He was kind of one of those clueless people. I think he probably was a little bit on the autism scale. He didn't really have that same emotional connection that you normally have with people. Like my husband, for example, has a really amazing emotional connection with people. And he's very sensitive to what they're thinking and feeling, right? But there are a lot of people out there, men and women, that do not have that connection, and yet they still have relationships. And unless there's a certain level of healing on both sides, that relationship gets rough. And a lot of people just stick in it, and they hurt, and they're very miserable. So what I did was I only healed Lucille. I cleared out her emotional baggage. I cleared up her important relationships, meaning the healings I'm going to talk about next time, the next broadcast. And today I'll explain a few simple ways that you can help release that emotional baggage. I have like 5 different steps. And of course, one of them would be to journal, but I didn't think of that while I was thinking up what to talk about here. So after I did those clearings with her, and we met twice a month for about 6 months, things, as if by magic, things with her husband started changing, like dramatically. He started treating her more respectfully and thoughtfully. He would bring her flowers when he came home from work. He said he loved her. They started sleeping in the same room again. He took her to Europe. They bought a new house together. And this is not to say it's all hunky-dory, right? There's still a lot of work that needs to be done in that relationship. But it's not the wasteland, the emotionally vacant wasteland that was there before. There's some positive interaction going, and she is still now 2-3 years later, she's still with him, which I think is actually quite miraculous. But right now, Lucille is busy making plans. She got promoted, she got higher pay, she is learning a new trade to do once she retires from her current job, and she's much happier with herself, right? So it's not all tragic if your relationship is an emotional wasteland. It can be rescued by doing the healing work on yourself. And, she's not the only one. I had Amanda who was angry at her father for 40 years, and once we released that anger from her, she came back the next week and reported, she says, I don't know what you did to me, but I can't even muster anger at my father anymore. And then in the following months, her income from her own business, she had her own private boutique business, her income from her business went up by 30 and 50% with no new advertising and no new, networking, no nothing, just by releasing that anger. And she started attracting more people into her business. So it's not just your personal relationships, it's also your business relationships. So as I mentioned last time, it's you that needs to be healed. And you don't need to be going out and looking for that next great relationship thinking that's the answer. That would be the easy answer. Oh, it's just that guy or it's just that woman, right? But it's you and what you're attracting. So you can bring new life to your current relationship, or if you're looking to stop repeating those same old relationship patterns. So here are some of the steps to releasing your hot emotional connections. Stop enjoying your hot emotions. Some people like getting angry and then telling everybody about it. It's like, you build this whole thing up and then release. And then you build it up again and then release. So it's almost like sex, right? It's like the tension builds up and then release, right? So some people really enjoy that. I've seen people enjoy it. It's like they get a real thrill out of getting other people sucked into that turmoil and then having them sympathize with them. And then you can stay in your injustice and fury. And this is really poison to you. You're not hurting anyone. You're not hurting your partner or your ex-partner. You're only hurting yourself by keeping yourself in that drama. And you're punishing your body by not allowing it to heal. Because if you are in stress like that, your body will not get the chance to heal. You'll only heal when your adrenals are calm. Right? And that's why people that are constantly stressed out, why they get sick, because you're burning your resources up in your body when your adrenals are firing, right? And number 2 is when you're experiencing your low frequency emotions, cut the cord to the thought. So whatever it is that's making you upset, you imagine that you have a line of energy between you and the thought. And so you can just cut the cord. You just go, cut the cord. And you just imagine that image of whatever it is that's really bothering you dropping down into the earth. You are releasing the connection of your emotions to the thing that's making you upset. However you justify the upset, right? So people say, well, my emotions are my emotions. Well, actually, we choose our emotions. When we see something, we have an emotional reaction, and then we justify it by making a story up inside your mind. I'm angry because, or I'm sad because. So you can train yourself to have a different reaction, because as soon as you notice the anger and you cut the cord to the anger with that thought, you'll start noticing that it's like a pattern interrupt. You're pattern interrupting that thought process, right? And it takes some discipline in doing, but it really works. I've seen it work on people that have had trouble controlling themselves, and I've done it myself. And it really is a relief to not have to worry about those things anymore. And number 3 is you can say a simple mantra every morning that goes like this: all the times and all the ways I'm 1% less furious, right? And just say it 10 times in the morning when you get up. And when you're saying it, pull your shoulders back, straighten up your spine, sit up straight, and put your feet on the floor, because you're just going to be releasing it. However you're releasing it. All the times and all the ways I'm 1% less furious, or I'm 1% less sad, or I'm 1%, whatever it is. And the reason why you say 1%, because it's too much for your body to demand you're 100% less sad, or you're 100% less stubborn, or you're 100% less angry, or you're 100% less guilty. Whatever it is that is riling your whole insides up, if you say it 10 times every morning. I did that with a couple of things. I did that with, I had rage because I hate injustice, right? And I was like really upset over something that was unjust. And then after an hour of this feeling of rage, I said, why am I allowing someone else to control my day? It's my day. Right? So I just used this. I cut the cords to the rage, and then I just said all the times and all the ways I have 1% less rage. And I said this every day for 10 times a day for about 2 months. And now when that same situation comes up, it no longer affects me, right? I just take care of it because I know it'll get taken care of. I'm confident that it'll be taken care of. Right? And you can also imagine that this emotion is dropping down into the earth, right? Just let it go. The earth is going to swallow it up and churn it up and transform and transmute its energy. It can take it. Okay, so let's try this really simple exercise. I like this exercise because it's really easy to do. It's easy to remember. Right? So we sit still with your shoulders back and your spine erect. As soon as you do that, you lower the stress in your body, right? When you bend your spine forward, like we do when we type on computers and stuff, you raise your stress levels. It's scientifically proven, right? And that's because the crouch position is a fearful position, and you're getting ready to hide from something, right? Crouched over. If you're standing up straight, it's kind of like in your superhero pose, and you're helping your body get less stressed because you're saying to yourself, I'm confident, I'm strong, I'm not worried, right? So this is the first step in helping you, is getting your spine erect, feet flat on the floor, or you can stand while you do it. And you can close your eyes and take some nice deep breaths, pulling the air all the way down, and imagine it going down to your fingers and toes. And you just take some deep breaths, hold it, and then release it slowly from the bottom up, and then hold it, and then bring it back down. So these deep breaths help bring you into the present moment. So whatever happened in the past or could happen in the future is no longer an issue. You're just coming into the moment. And so now, while you're breathing rhythmically like this, you're going to imagine a bright golden healing light coming from above, right? And that is kind of like a 4 p.m. sunlight. It's not white, it's not gold, it's somewhere in between. And it's going to come and warm you up. It's going to enter the top of your head, and it's going to wash through you. It's going to wash down your channels, down through your fingertips. Now it's washing down through your front channels and your back channels. And now it's going down to the bottom of your feet, and all of that old emotional energy is getting washed out with that healing energy, right? So as we wash it through and we bring it through us, we're just letting it go. It's that simple to let it go, right? Because you have now created another pattern interrupt, the posture, the breathing, and you're just imagining this bright light coming through and washing through you and letting it go. That's all it takes. You don't need to go through years of analysis. You don't need to sit there and talk it out. Why am I feeling this way? It doesn't matter why. Just let it go. Because all the whys just keeps keeping you in that old emotional turmoil. Every single why. Why am I like this? Why do I do this? It's all emotional turmoil. This particular process, these 4 processes that I mentioned, help you heal, right? And then the last thing, well, let me just mention briefly, sometimes it helps to sit down and just start flowing a stream of consciousness with your pen. So a little bit of journaling can go a long way. And what I want you to focus on your journaling is not the letting go, not the whys and the wherefores and who's in your life and all of that. What I want you to focus on is what's mine to know. What is it that I need to know to move forward in health and happiness, right? What is my next step? Not, who did what to whom and all of that, but what's my next step? What am I supposed to do next? I've done that exercise and it helps you focus away from all of the stuff that doesn't need to be anymore. I wrote journals after journal after journal after journal. It had a lot of pain in it. And when I opened them again, like 10 years later, I said, I don't need to revisit the pain. So I just disposed of them. You burn them and let the sky take them over, right? So we're just releasing all of the emotions and they'll keep coming up. And as they bubble up, right? So if you're feeling guilty or ashamed, all the times and all the ways I'm 1% less ashamed. Or you can just imagine it washing through you, the shame, washing it down deep into the earth and let it run through, right? And I have created a little emotional release healing audio. It's called Powerful Energy Healing. It's only 14 minutes and you can get it at scientifichealer.com/emotional. So next time you'll hear about resolving and healing your connection to others, including near and distant energy exchanges, as well as contracts and agreements, what many people call karma. So remember that 14-minute emotional release healing audio is at scientifichealer.com/emotional. Thank you so much for listening. If this broadcast was helpful, please give it a 5-star or a thumbs up rating, share it with your friends, and please subscribe to my channel. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until next time, this is Dr. Anastasia Chabalas.